pistol. They need to start strong, and it's time to find out if they can. And so it's CLG, TSM, best of one format, and we're here on DE Train. Lauren, why don't you launch us into this first one and see what CLG have got up their sleeves on the CT side.
Now, you know what? CLG can sit there and wait. I'm all about TSM right now. Their pistol rounds have been impressing me every single time. The plan here is clearly rehearsed to the absolute pixel. So let's see what they have in store. Cajun and Carrigan going to put down the utility. We've got the little boost coming out towards the connector there. But the bomb is still on this B side. But you can see Tarek has a full view that no one's really coming towards A. They should know that it's going to be B, and JDM's going to be calling for help very soon. Yeah, he is going to be able to lay down some damage and get away relatively scot-free. 73 points of health still left on him, but already KJB is the one to draw first blood. Finesse's brain is splattered across the train yard, as it looks like CLG are playing for this retake, and already TSM, they're digging their heels in, and they're just going to delay. Yeah, they certainly are, and Cajun's going looking, buying time, just kind of wild with the Glock. But Tarek does find Carrigan, but time is of the essence now. Cutler does find Cajun B, so we're back to a 4-3. CLG do have a kit as well on JDM. This could change, but there's Device, and Device in a 1v2 now needs to just play the time perfectly. Yeah, it all comes down to time. Of course, having that kit makes life so much easier for CLG, and Device trying to play this well. The smoke comes out. He's got 5 points of health. He's holding it. Beautiful from Tarek as well, keeping Cutler safe and sound. I say safe. 4 points HP. Of health. Couldn't be much closer than that, and that's going to put the first round on the board for CLG. And as we were starting to kind of piece together, you know, if CLG were to cause what would be an incredible upset here at IEM, the first thing they would have to do is pick up the pistol and not let the next two slip away. Well, it's the foundation, isn't it? They're the building blocks, and now they have to continue down this path. But I like that from them. It was a really good retake coming out from CLG. They didn't challenge, they took their time, but now let's look at TSM again. A plan in mind. Smoke's brought up, P250s. And yet, they're taking their time here, but they are going to make their way towards A. The SMG of Hayes might get some action pretty darn soon, but it's Tarek finding both kills already. Yeah, you can see this kind of likelihood of seeing a couple of extra rifles. I mean, a Scout and 2 M4s for CLG when you're on a distant map like Train, and they're having no problem completely disassembling the TSM side on that second round. Economy-wise, they did get the bomb down in the first round, so that should enable them to pick up AKs going into the third, and they're going to be doing just that. Maybe limited nades, limited armor for some. Yeah, I think Zipniks and Carrigan going without the helmet. And it looks like CLG are going to stick around with the Scout and an SMG. They've got a great deal of utility on CLG, though. True. They have so much to work with if they want to. But TSM's game will be up pretty soon. They'll know that there's rifles here. CLG will call on to this, and Hayes is just going to go aggressive with the MP7. He's going to go for the challenge out the back of Ivy, but great little bit of an nade, but he doesn't get it. And now Device going to pick it up and open it up for the possibility. But Cutler's there, and he knows now the information's been gathered. So Hayes, I felt like he gathered enough information there, saw 2 heads, saw they had a rifle, and still went for a repeat with an SMG. Maybe just hoping to kind of catch them out with a repeat with an SMG. You know, that's not something you'd be anticipating. But either way, it does go down, and TSM, they're going to be happily trying to find more progress towards Ivy. Cutler was the one there. And the bomb is loose from TSM. They're staying flexible at this point. And it's actually, you see Tarek in heaven once again. Looks like he's going to be making this his domain. But they're also taking away all of the, well, a vast amount of the utility away from CLG, so they're not going to have many smokes left. And TSM still have all of theirs. They've still got 2 smokes between Dupree and Carrigan, a flash on Zipniks. It's not perfect, but it's enough for them to piece something together. So Cajun being Device through Ivy, you've got Carrigan work his way through, Dupree and Zipniks coming out by Pop, and now it's Tarek and Cutler to try and hold this one together. It looks like they're going to be doing just that, 1 apiece for those aforementioned players, but it's going to be actually Cajun B who does fight back. Tarek with a second. This is looking very good for Tarek. He's been instrumental both in ecos and buys already. They're low. TSM just over 30 points of health between them, but it's not going to stop Cajun B. Onto Tarek. Now JDM has to do it with a Scout, and if he's going to do it, it's with these limited health pools. He misses the shot. You cannot afford to do that, but Cajun B was ready for the refrag either way, and they even managed to get the bomb down as that one ended. Yeah, TSM getting back into this game with a really good way of playing. And I love TSM's composure. I always have. I think there is a little bit of a pause coming in, so maybe just making sure none of these technical issues are still there. Hopefully they are resolved, of course. And yeah, Gamescom is getting loud. Can you, I mean, I'm struggling to hear like my own thoughts at this point. Yeah, it's actually impressively loud here. Is there like a party? Are we not invited to like an early morning Gamescom party? No. Okay. But yeah. It is extremely loud. I'm going to put my microphone really close to my mouth so the guys at home don't get bullied by this this audio. But anyway, Gamescom aside, back in kind of turning attention to the game, the fact that TSM caught a pause, I'm not sure if it's a technical reason. I didn't see them say tactics.
So we're going to get a kind of a...
There's Graham. The admin has appeared.
Oh, okay.
Let's see how he looks.
What, if he looks disgruntled
exactly.
or not? Yeah.
So TSM look fine the whole time. They're having a great time. Does Graham look stressed yet?
Okay.
If you're seeing, like, you know, the face of Jesus Christ help me, then it may be a longer pause.
I saw him put a sad face in console recently.
Oh, no.
So, you know, when an admin puts a sad face in console, maybe things aren't going well. Tarek is actually just trying to find
there was...
Okay, there is a sound issue that's being resolved.
Okay.
And we are going to be heading back into the game. So that's fortunate. Then CLG not going to have too much momentum swept away from them. I say momentum. TSM were the ones to pick up the previous round, and it's going to be intriguing to see where they can come off the back of that one. It does look like they're going to be putting a whole lot more weight into utility than they did in the previous round. As you can see, that they're going to be buying up 3 Galils, 3 Galils, but this time focusing on those smokes, on the flashes, even 3 Molotovs across the board for them. And CLG, the same can't be said for them. Limited nades. We need to jump back into the game because it is already unfolding as this round is taking place.
But we're going
to, let's just look at the reflection of the light on his face. We'll look at that for a while longer. As I'm going to tell you what's happening. Bodies are dropping. TSM down to 2. And we are way. There we go. Device then. Last man standing. He's dead already. Blink and you miss it. And the round's over. CLG, that's actually really important as well.
Yes. It was probably a really important round to watch.
That was a crucial round. Okay.
All right. Let's just have a nice, let's breathe it in.
Can you catch us up, Lauren?
No.
No? Okay.
No. But 3-1. CLG. Turning it back around, and of course, in that sort of aspect, it's going to put TSM in such a bad predicament money-wise. They're very poor. But then again, you know, we've seen what the P250s have been achieving yesterday.
True.
Throw a couple of deagles in there, you never know. But still, this should be a nice, clean one for CLG. They should try and not lose players. And any small advantage, even if it's just, you know, making sure they have very clean rounds against ecoed up teams, every one of these matters against someone like TSM, especially when Dupree is already taking down one of their opponents.
Yeah, you're going to get the nice trade-off, though, from JDM, who seems to be making the B site his home here on the CT side of Train. And I mean, you start looking at that scoreline, do remember it's, of course, CLG on that CT side. They're going to be looking for, looking to hit double digits in an ideal world on this CT side. Now Cutler looking to get pushed on. He's kind of got his eyes towards Electric Box, and that's a good move. But look at Carrigan, finds his head. And now it's going to come down to Hayes, but he's having no problem finding Carrigan. Tarek is turning up, and actually TSM, they're making a real good kind of job of this. 3 players down. And Device, he's not going to be able to find much more, but that's a very solid, just P250s from TSM.
And that was an extraordinarily costly round for CLG. Again, these guys are being, of course they can rebuy here, they're fine for that sort of matter, but this is the fact that they really want to keep that AWP in play at most times. JDM, keeping that in mind, he wants to have as much money building up. Losing players out on these rounds is something they just can't afford.
And it keeps CLG's economy kind of tame. It keeps it down, and it makes sure that they're not going to get too much AWPs in the hands of JDM. That's a whole lot of letters now. JDM, oh, talking of AWP, he does actually manage to just narrowly miss that shot, as Finesse is doing quite the opposite as he finds Dupree.
Yeah, early B poke there coming out from TSM. Everyone else kind of taking their time elsewhere. Dupree did get picked up, but still. Zipnik's holding it just in case they don't push through. There's Carrigan, of course, doing the same. And at this point, it's Carrigan and Zipnik who do have the smokes and flashes, who maybe could create something out of this. And at 4v4, they can sell the other side. It's perfect. But KGB's just going to force it to happen. How did Hayes get even to that point? But here we go. So JDM's going to be the factor now. He can put that AWP to work. KGB goes down. They regain some control, but Device is pushing up. Now, I don't know if JDM even suspects Device has got out this far. So we're going to find out very soon. JDM playing on those ladders. Device, he's creeping in. He catches a glimpse. And that may be just enough. And there we go. Zipnik's perfect timing. Great synergy between the two, pushing down that 1 and 2 side. And the bomb plant is certainly coming in.
Yes, that's going to be thanks to Carrigan. And Zipnik's, he's preeming all the right spots for Cutler, but I think TSM, they're not going to be making any mistakes in this one, looking very restrained on this site hole. But then again, Tarek takes down Carrigan, and now onto the remaining Device, and Zipnik's made now all onto Tarek to find the remaining 2.
Ooh,
does
that's a
find
good
another.
start.
This is 2 now. He's looking for a 3rd. He could very well pick up a triple, and he's going for a fake, trying to draw him out. He knows exactly where he is. He's holding it, trying to get baited. Oh, beautiful from Zipnik. Just darts out to find the frag and the 2nd round for TSM.
Again, though, this is quite a close game. And I'm talking about the rounds themselves. They are actually pretty close, these rounds.
Yeah, and look at Tarek. I mean, we keep seeing him playing around this site. He's really coming into his own on A, almost, you know, reminiscent of the qualifiers Hyper, doing exactly the same thing for eBettle.
Oh, that was my heart can't take it again,
That was the last time we casted Train, Lauren.
Yeah.
You know, that was it, and Hyper was doing exactly the same thing. Yep, I mean, 50 frags at the end of that one, and Tarek's already got 12 just 6 rounds into this, so maybe, just maybe, we'll see if we can have a competitor if he can stay in this form. But, I mean, it's down to pistols. We saw what TSM could do it with it. Let's see if CLG can do something similar.
They certainly could to a degree here. Hayes does get a little caught out, but Connell's been able to push up, get a little bit of an angle. But then again, you look at Carrigan and Device, and they're so aware. They're so ready and waiting for this.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to watch out. I mean, they kind of read them quite nicely, picked up an SMG to try and take a little bit of extra money for themselves. And I think Carrigan is going to be going down to Tarek, so that's something. But then again, Hayes walking through the smoke. He could very well get caught out, and he will be. KGB just lingering out the side. But in the meantime, Cutler's done some good work as well.
Definitely has, and now, sadly, though, Tarek last man alive, taking down 2 players. Not a bad way to get things kicked off. Sadly, though, for Tarek, he was unable to pick any guns up from it, be able to put him to use. TSM will just overmatch drastically and pick it up. But still, that was the point there, wasn't it? The Device was it why you went for the Mac 10 to farm the money up, and this is something you're seeing more and more often that you can't blame people for. But it is going to force CLG now to consider maybe the double eco, or at least maybe something a little bit of bite to it, but still pretty skint here. 5-7 smokes, flashes a CZ. It's not good. Yeah, and I do see those nades. I mean, 2 flashes and 2 smokes. That's going to put a smile on Anders' face, that's for certain. And of course, you know, we saw what Tarek was doing with his 5-7 not too long ago on Overpass just yesterday. FNS, I think FNS saw Dupree. Or was it Zipnix? I'm not sure, because Colour's already rotated. I think he's got a decent idea that these two are already at this point. So there may very well be a good read. But then again, JDM is in a position to potentially catch out Carrigan. It's going to come down to patience here. And I think Carrigan has got a pretty damn good idea that CLG are going to want to play this aggressive. They know roughly the situation of CLG's economy, and it's going to be enough to anticipate some tight angles being held by the CTs. That's going to be a flash. Hayes can't evade that one, and it does indicate that at least one man from TSM is hanging around towards Ivy. But finally, the bomb carry is going to be tested, and he does pass that one. It's Carrigan, and he gets away with the bomb, and 94 points of health. 43 seconds left. TSM will have to eventually brave going to these sites. They're kind of dealing with the players who get a little bit boisterous, want to go for those peaks, want to try and get that nice little angle, but eventually they will have to make the play here, and TSM have played this so well. Look at this. They sold that B fake. Hayes is the only one on A right now. Damn. He's going to be put to bed by Device, and this is just a very smart, clean bit of play from TSM, not allowing CLG the chance back in. Bearing in mind at the start, it was only FNS on that B side. Cutler rotated initially and then went back. So you can see how well TSM can just kind of mold the opponents. A CLG, yeah, I was going to say, looked like they were kind of taking their time to rotate, but no, they are on their way. Cutler and Finesse just going to try and take a weapon or two out of the hands of TSM. Not going to be happening just yet, though, as Carrigan and Zipnix make it look easy. And we do find the equalizer. So 4-4, as TSM managed to kind of keep CLG in check. Or, well, everyone other than Tarek, who's still continuing to sit at the top of that scoreboard. But good to see that this one could stay close. But it's not good for CLG. If things stay close with them on the CT side, I think that spells trouble. Oh, I tend to agree. They need to start breaking out in these gun rounds. They need to start getting these cleanly done. But how can you do that against the likes of TSM? These guys are fantastic at this map. But it looks like CLG has a good idea of what they want to do here. We're seeing that FNS is almost expecting Dupree and Zipnix by B. JDM is waiting for Carrigan to come walking through. They're starting to kind of see the standard here, and Hayes will find Device down by Ivy, just spraying through the smoke. He didn't even need to see him. It's something they've been doing consistently on their gun rounds now. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the threat now is KGB. KGB versus JDM, and JDM is the one that comes out on top. That's massive. And now, with the AWP down, that's insane. TSM now at a massive disadvantage. He went in for like a double peak on that. I don't know if that's confident or stupid sometimes, but he got it still. And this was the thing Moses saying before. I hear Moses in the back of my going, these guys, the way they peak terrifies me. The way they play, every aspect is not stable, it's scary. But when it works, you can't knock it. But still, the TSM down to 3, going to make a bit of a last-ditch effort towards this B side. Carrigan, Dupree, and Zipnix going to have to take on Cutler and FNS. And look at Cutler playing it well, dancing around the side, but his spray was a little questionable. Switching up to the second, can't find Zipnix, but FNS is going to deal with the situation with Tarek coming over and CLG picking up another round. Yeah, solid there from CLG. And
I mean, TSM, they had the right idea. It was just caught out because of those early picks. Those two early frags, you just cut down the T-side. Because Train can sometimes leave a T-side spread out, you take away a couple of those crucial members, they're really going to struggle to execute. And you saw them kind of try and cobble something together on B. Didn't quite work out. It's good to see CLG not falling for a weakened TSM, because that would be the real sign of bad things to come. JDM again onto Dupree. He's going to be sleeping with the fishes now, forced to watch as the rest of his team crumbles to Tarek. That's two. Not going to be a third, though, as it's all onto Device. And he's got a whole lot of angry Americans looking to take him down and bring a sixth home.
And I love it when CT side start pushing up a little closer on A. They play closer to Pop, and they even push up a little bit towards Ivy. I love it, and it really does make this game become so much more exciting. As Device now, last man standing, he's got very few options here, and I think it's time to just try and sit it out, considering what the bomb's literally in their control. Everyone is almost watching this angle. It's Cutler, I think, about to drop the flash in, and Device, I can only wish him good luck at this point.
Yeah, he's going to be left to his own devices, that's for certain.
Oh, Alex.
I'm sorry. He's going to be probably take Cutler with him. I mean, look at that health. 5 points of health. Fortunately, Finesse is there to babysit, and we will be seeing CLG secure that one. So that's 2 times in a row. TSM have had an early disadvantage, and CLG have profited from it. But Tarek, 16 frags. Let's see if he can continue to exert this much damage as this game progresses. Seeing JDM as well, that's 2 rounds in a row that he's been the one taking KGB. He's been challenged and he's been willing, he's been nodding and accepting that challenge from KGB. Really, really good to see that JDM is not falling a little kind of timid when he's in this environment.
No, he's definitely stepping up to the challenge so far, and I can imagine we'll see a little more of this soon. But Tarek going to go walkabouts. He will find Zipnix, and you can't blame him getting confident at this point. You want to get in their face. You don't want to play too passive. He does go down to Device, which does leave a gun actually somewhere that maybe TSM can recover. Not sure if Carrigan's going to get there yet, but Hayes does find Device, but the bomb is going down. Carrigan just going to try and put it down, but FNS going to just go hunting straight away, and Cajun B will fall. But I love the little mouse wiggle. Like, it'll help, I promise.
I'm convinced. I'm convinced, yeah. I'm pretty sure some bomb plants have been defused, or sorry, some bombs have been defused and planted with an extra wiggle. Turn up your sensitivity, give it a real wiggle, and you're going to get that bomb down. I'm telling you now. God, I'm coming up with some real theories. Wiggling when planting, needing a Wii makes you play better. I'm a true analyst here.
Yeah, the highbrow level of content that Alex brings to CSGO. But still, we're not going to be able to see an op on the TSM side, which is going to leave JDM with so much more freedom here to do not necessarily what he wants, but certainly have a little bit more of his way. And look at CLG, just pushed up a touch. Now, it's dangerous, sure. If the trades go wrong, you're kind of screwed. But Cutler and Tarek have been performing. Cutler's on, what, a great score so far, and he's been hitting the shots he needs to. But TSM playing slow, actually really slowing this game down.
What's really interesting about the way TSM structured this kind of slow round is that they leave Carrigan way back at spawn with the bomb. He's not even holding the bomb. He's actually got it dropped in a corner, and he holds that angle for, until the cows come home. And Tarek going aggressive again. This time probably not going to be as predictable. You wouldn't expect him the same push twice, but Device in the meantime finds Haste. Is that the catalyst they need? TSM, yeah, because you see Carrigan retrieving the bomb, so maybe, just maybe, they spread themselves out, don't commit to any site whatsoever, and as soon as one frag comes in, they try and get into the heads of the defenders. Currently, CLG have 2 players on B, and it does look like TSM are about to try and catch Tarek out on Pop Shot. Gets away with 18 points of health. He needs to find cover, and fast, as it feels like TSM are about to come crashing onto the site, and here they come.
Yeah, nice little bit of work. He made the best of a bad situation, but JDM a little late to that one. Just gets mowbound down by Device, who bullies his way through. FNS, now last man standing, can do nothing about it, and TSM, once they got that opener, just spiraled off the back perfectly. But CLG's money is fine at the moment. They're still absolutely come to go for a full repurchase of whatever they want. Excluding Tarek, funny enough, actually. He's a little lighter than the others, but outside of that, they are perfect for what they need here.
Yeah, he's definitely not fragging enough. That's probably why, yeah, entirely down to his fragging. But
yeah,
no.
That's how it works.
I'm joking. Let's see then what TSM want to go off the back of that. Something immediately has changed, and that's that TSM have left the bomb more close towards that pop dog / hallway area. You can see they're probably going to be wanting to maybe get a pick on towards B. Just Finesse is the one that's been left on the side. JDM holding this same angle. He's definitely happy to challenge Cajun B out. Actually, it's Device, that has taken the AWP this time. That flexibility that TSM possesses can really pose a threat because every player brings his own kind of spice to it. And this time, Device is looking to peek through Ivy. We've seen that challenge before, and we've seen JDM pick it up before. But still, another slow one. CLG probably not going to be making the same mistake. Hazed, in particular, is going to be desperate not to be the one to go down.
KGB's starting to go looking as well. That's a dangerous factor. You've got 3 players, though, from CLG, not necessarily focused here, but certainly willing to lend a hand. JDM is facing this way, not where Carragher may come from. He is completely here, but I think a couple of the players are having an issue, so we might have to restart that round there, and we will come back to hopefully what was going on. But let's kind of have a discussion, at least, towards what I've been seeing, which is when CLG seem to have everything. So when they're able to get the AWP on towards JDM, they have some brilliant rounds. Now, I want to see what happens when you get it on the other side as well, because it's been a while since we've had the kind of clarity of JDM and Device both playing it at the same time. So I'm excited to see how they now match up with each other, because I don't put Device towards that sort of player like JDM being that, imperative to the rounds going their way.
To kind of paraphrase, was saying, JDM is more crucial to CLG than it is to TSM. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I'm not too sure what we're waiting for. JDM is on his way back in. It was actually him who we did lose. We did lost. English is very difficult.
He are rip.
I are dumb.
Words are hard. It's early.
It is.
It's early in this Gamescom.
I'm gonna have to try and find some more caffeine, but not like cold caffeine. I need like a good coffee. I'm gonna search, try and find one.
I really want a flat white. We were discussing this before. Do you miss flat whites in England? They used to have flat whites.
I miss like an Earl Grey.
A nice Earl Grey.
A nice Earl Grey in the morning.
Would you go for the morning
with some proper milk? The stuff that gets left outside your door, as opposed to the stuff that you have to buy
left outside in the supermarket for a year.
Yeah. That stuff that never goes off. Insane. Anyway, milk aside, we are just going to be waiting for this game to carry it back on. We're going to be getting back into the action, I think, once we load into the correct round. But if you have just joined us, this is the Intel Extreme Masters. We're in that 10th season, and CSGO has made a return. Of course, starting with a quirky tournament structure. That's the way to... Yeah, it is. It's a real kind of fun teaser for the major. Get to see some of these teams in action. Of course, just SK, the ones that we're not going to be seeing over at the 22nd to the 23rd of August. But great to see, a taster of form, but also to see if there's any tricks up their sleeve. Talking of tricks up their sleeve, Train against CLG, we are not going to see any Train tricks from TSM. If they've got something, they're going to be keeping that well and truly hidden, and that needs to be remembered.
It does, because TSM's record on Train is actually pretty decent. So I don't think, as you said, they'll want to give away anything new that's coming up. So
of course,
they do seem to, they're literally just playing off the pick, it seems, most of the time for TSM. And they are a team that have they have such a deep bag of tricks they can go to if required. But why would they want to show such nuanced things here? Because really, 7-5 right now, they're doing just fine. We are live into the game, so hopefully we can dive back into that. And once again, it's the same beginning. This is rinse and repeat almost for these guys now. Device, KGB, but this is different. Cutler and Hayes actually going out that far. And JDM already fighting Zipnix. These guys just push that 10% further, and look at this boost. That is surely going to catch him up. But, oh, the birds and pigeons almost scared Hayes then. He adjusted over towards the right, but he does find KGB. He knows Device is normally there, and he's actually going further for it. JDM picks up the kill. CLG just playing so confident here, playing aggressive, and it's completely caught off TSM.
Very nice from CLG, coming off the back of that pause with something new, and that's going to be throwing TSM into a bit of a spin now. Device and Carragher looking to try and hold on, try and make it a little more costly for CLG. An AWP and an AK between them, and they're going to just try and forge something, try and keep these weapons safe. I say that, he does catch a glimpse of Cutler, but Cutler is not having any of that one. He's happy. The entirety of his team still standing, not lost 1 point of health. The entirety of the side, and it's going to be Carragher who tries to change that. He does that, but not enough, as Hayes does connect, and now just one very injured Device, desperately trying to keep this AWP in play.
And not for long. Cutler will close it down, and CLG just switching up the pace after that pause. And it wasn't a tactical pause or a variety, but they went, all right, well, screw it. Let's just, kick it up a notch. Let's make these peaks. Let's be active and challenging in this. And it just throws off TSM, because TSM were playing this rinse and repeat style, and, mentally just kind of fall into the habit, like, well, they've never done it so far. Here we go. But credit CLG, not afraid to make the challenge. Now, looking at the T side as well, Galil on the on for Zipnix here. He doesn't have a great deal to work with, but TSM doing something different this time. They're not doing their standard. Cajun B down by Ivy, but everyone else by the halls, over by B. This is something slightly new. Yeah,
this is an interesting response from TSM, kind of saying, okay, CLG, we can do it too. And maybe they have turned to a new page of that strategy book. Looks like they're going to be kind of putting a lot of their attention towards Pop Dog. Maybe, just maybe, once that smoke does kind of dissipate, we're going to be seeing a big charge on towards that A site. I say that, though. Zipnix and Dupree are the ones that are away from the site. You can see They are edging towards it. It's going to be Finesse and Cutler who are readying themselves for this push. They have enough utility for this one. 3 flashes, 3 smokes. That's enough for TSM to put something together. Of course, nowhere near ideal. But they are preparing themselves. And as time ticks on, the CLG are starting to get a little anxious. You can see it, both JDM and Tarek were the players who were on A. They pushed way back to connector. They're keeping themselves close and ready to rotate if necessary. Boosted up as well.
Here we go. Smokes are going out. TSM's getting ready for this one. Cutler going to meet them with that molly. Going to put it down. Does get a little bit of toasted there. Dupree and Device actually very low. Cutler and FNS going to make the most of that. Just eviscerating TSM one by one. But Dupree does make the difference. But FNS knows he's got the bomb. And the only man standing is KGB. Now he's out of the way. He was playing over by Ivy the whole time, so he's got a little bit of a drop here. But Tarek, he's like, I know where this guy's been, but it doesn't matter. Cajun B still breaks through, but 3 players now watching the one exit he was going to. And Hayes, he's not giving this a chance. 2 HP left towards Cajun B. He might actually hit this shot on the way through, but no. Hayes will close it down, and CLG just perfectly dealing with TSM.
Yeah, respectable then from CLG. 9-5. If they can find the 10th as well, they're going to be very happy going into that second half with a reasonable chance, a real shot at this T side. And I mean, we came into this one saying that TSM, they're not going to want to show too much. We also said that this should be a very much a one-sided affair.
And look at the economy of TSM. This looks like it should be a 10-5.
See if it can be secured. JDM, I think he's got a good idea. He's going aggressive. I thought this is where it was going in the previous round, but no, this is the time for him to shine, and he could very well catch Carrigan with his trousers around his ankles, as it were. He does, as he finds one. Backing away, they're realizing that early aggression, that's something that CLG through Ivy have done numerous times now, and every single time it's actually worked in their favor. Now, though, bomb loose, and TSM with 4. Let's see where they choose to head with this one.
And the one thing I love about aggression like that, you can keep all your utility. It's brave, of course, it's risky, but they've still got so much to put in place. So many mollies they can just slow down and just tease TSM with, saying, oh, you wanted to come towards this side, you want to make this play well, now you really can't, or you take a lot of damage. But actually, Hayes misses too. They're just down below him. He gets the first. Spots out, I believe, Zipnik's there in the smoke, but Dupree and Zipnik will at least take him down, and they've got close, which is the danger here. Those Tech-9s can do damage, and Dupree is doing what he does best, just right in amongst them. And now Cutler and FNS gonna have to be careful here, because Dupree's got a gun, he's got armor, and still a Tech-9.
Yeah, and you can really not put this past him. This would be for the quad kill, as he has a good idea that that bomb and the knowledge of where that bomb is was no need and no worries for CLG as they do secure the frag thanks to Cutler and his M4. 10-5 then on the half, and CLG looking relatively comfortable. It's going to come down to how they start on the T side, though. I mean, if we start to see the Americans pick up that pistol and the second, they're so close that a couple of wrong steps from TSM, and this could fall a little flat.
Oh, it could, but even with all the upsets recently with TSM, I still can never mentally write them out of a game regardless.
Oh, 100%. No.
It's so hard to do because they're going into the CT side. They're TSM.
Yeah.
They previously had obscenely good pistol stat ratios on this map, so you'd assume, excluding the first go of it, that they should probably pick this one up on the CT side. We'll have to see what they do from the back of that, because their gun round should be stronger, but if TSM don't come into a tournament, focused, switched on, ready, we've seen them slip before.
Absolutely, and we're talking of seeing them slip before. Look no further than APM. We saw SK beating them. Of course, so that's one we've already discussed that has to be kind of taken with a pinch of salt. But still, SK beat TSM very recently, and CLG narrowly lost out to SK 16-14 yesterday. So there is something that can be drawn from that, and you never can kind of write CLG out of this. So let's have a little look where we go. It's time for the first round of our second half of our first game on day 2 of the Intel Extreme Masters.
And I always love seeing the variation in teams here. This looks like a B play to me, just because Hayes has the molly. I can assume they're going to plant it, leave Hayes by that upper side, and then work off the back of it. But that's my assumption from what we've seen so far. You can bounce it perfectly off the side, and it buys enough time on the defuse. But anyway, looking at this round now, CLG might be going for their lining up for it, and it looks pretty, back to basic. It's nothing new, but if it's done well, it can work perfectly. Yeah, there is a very big indicator, though, and that is, of course, that smoke that has just been thrown out, the counter nade thrown out from TSM, and they've actually thrown a whole lot. CLG waiting, though. They've managed to get some sort of intel off that. TSM feeding that. And we are going to be seeing the second batch of nades thrown out this time from CLG. That utility investment is going to mean they're vulnerable when it comes to these fights, but it does mean that they managed to keep TSM a little nadeless, as here comes the push. Yeah, Cajun B is going to have a good shot at this, though. He's already found JDM, which could be a problem. Hayes is doing what I expected, but Color's going to go for the plant. He's going to go for this. Kerrigan's going to try and get the kill instantly. The bomb does go down, and that's the important factor here. Hayes and FNS know what they need to do. Instantly, Kerrigan checks. The molly's going to go in, and now 2v3. TSM are up against time, and FNS finds Dupree. He finds Cajun B, and now Kerrigan 1v2. Hayes 1 HP here. FNS goes down. If Hayes can hold this, I don't know if he can.
No kit. So it does come down to time. He doesn't have to peek just yet. Chill now. Hayes needs to keep a calm head, and I'm actually kind of making calls at this point. He's going to get pushed by Kerrigan. No time, though, and CLG have managed to secure that round. Very, very solid play from Finesse. I think he realized that picking up that 2, his job was done. Managed to try and keep Kerrigan busy as much as he could. And a very important round for CLG. Getting that under their belt is going to put them in a fantastic stead to really challenge TSM.
I'm so impressed with CLG. These aren't anything new that we're seeing. This isn't something, you know, world-changing, but they're playing it very, very well. As you mentioned, FNS going around the back. TSM completely not ignoring the fact, of course, in the back of their minds, you'd hope they'd assume that it'd be considered, considering it was Device who was doing it every single time. But still, I think the game is actually on pause, so we can hop back in. But coming back to that point, CLG turning up here, looking to do damage, but TSM this round look like they want damage as well. KGB with the scout, we've got even a buy-up coming out from Kerrigan. These guys mean business. They're not messing around now.
Yeah, absolutely. TSM don't want to let CLG get ahead of themselves. And here we go. It's Device with the CZ who kind of first puts one in his place. It's Hayes who's sitting now in the naughty corner.
Device
finds the head of JDM. Finally, Dupree is joining him, and now it's a 2v2. Cutler's low as well. And CLG, they very well could be kicked down a notch. Thanks to Device! 3 now with a CZ-75. It shouldn't, but it has happened. Now Finesse has to find 2, excuse me.
FNS waiting. He has got the bomb, but he's not checking on long. Dupree's going to spot him out. The call's going to be made. Device, the CZ master, apparently, going to start turning back around, but FNS is playing the smart. He's got time. He's got the gun. He's got utility. He's got armor. He doesn't need to rush this. But then again, Device shouldn't be able to get a 3K. Probably going to make it 4, and he does. Device picking up 4 here for TSM. Gets the gun away, closes down the round, and TSM on 6.
That is nonsense. Great from TSM, though, managing to surprise with the buy. I don't think CLG were necessarily anticipating that. You heard the warning shot fired out from Cajun B. He fired the scout shot, and so immediately CLG started to go, hang on a second. And TSM surprising CLG and forcing them into just pistols. A smoke and a flash across the board for the Americans, and let's see what they can piece together on this attacking side. Looks like they're going to be heading out towards Ivy, and it's going to be Dupree and Kerrigan who are nearest at hand for this one.
Dupree.
Oh man, 3 heads just walked through his crosshair.
If only he just randomly tapped. I'd have loved that if he just like
he sneezed and accidentally just hit that mouse 1 button.
I hope he doesn't lift the mouse mat, but still, they are all lining up. I think he might have just seen one through the smoke there. I think he has got a good idea that they may be coming down, and he's going to hear those footsteps plowing in, but 14 HP is not a lot, and Dupree and Device, the D&D combo, just doing damage, and look at this again. Device is having a great game here. 4 kills that round. Now, it's okay. It was against a team with no armor, but this guy, when he gets going, when he gets building up into this form, he becomes a beast, and we're already seeing Zipnix as well going in for the SMG purchase because they know that CLG a little strapped for cash here.
Yeah, I mean, a little may very well be an understatement. They are going to be going in for that double eco, just 2 pistols for them. And again, that's flash and smoke. Let's see where they choose to go with this one. Previously, kind of trying to throw all of their eggs towards one basket. Didn't work out, and this time they're going to be mixing it up. 3-2 split, as TSM in a very comfortable position, going to be readying themselves for this push. That's the flash, that's the investment, and it does enable them to get out unnoticed.
It's really nice.
But now, how did TSM respond?
Yeah, and I love this play from Kerrigan. He's actually around the back of every single one of them, and he's going to bounce perfectly, just reading the smokes while the play well, understanding what CLG wanted to achieve. But it's still a 2-on-3, and FNS actually has the bomb by this B side. Device is going to push forward. Zipnix still in connector. Kerrigan's over by A, but Device is low. This is still dangerous here. CLG have a chance.
Not if Zipnix finds that frag with the SMG, and now...
Oh, it's Device defusing as well.
I think that's very much all she wrote. Cutler takes 1, maybe just 2, as he does switch that take 9 to back away and keep that rifle safe and sound. Cutler making a relatively strong impact onto towards that site. You can see him second on the scoreboard there beneath Tarek, who has not stopped since this game began. Really just a consistent fragger, it seems, here on Train.
But now this is what I'm excited for. JDM on the T side with the AWP against KGB CT side with his. And I want to see if they maybe go for an opening challenge. I'm not sure, because considering KGB was playing by Ivy before, I'm not sure if he's going to stick with this time. He's going to head down by train 1 and just kind of sit it out and just see if anyone walks in towards that. But still, at the moment, it's actually, ironically, a very similar setup. They're playing very standard. CLG almost doing exactly what TSM were doing to some extent.
I mean, yeah, the only difference is where that bomb is. They've just left a little further kind of towards the pop dog area.
Yeah.
And so 4 members of TSM all gathered around this A side. I think they've got a relatively good read on where they think this will eventually go. It's JDM who does cast eyes first on towards a TSM member. Nothing to connect, though, as he does get tickled by a frag grenade. So from here, CLG need to make a decision. They've only got very minor intel, and that's, of course, the location of just 1 towards Ivy. And with 50 seconds left, CLG have got plenty of time to try and piece this together. And it does look like those players who were orientating themselves towards B, backing it up and ready for a push.
I want to see what timing they're going for here. They're leaving this very late. The smokes are coming out, and you can see Karrigan instantly knows what's going on here. So that's going to slow down the players pushing out from Pop. But Tarek's going to go straight out anyway. He's on his own here. Still, Karrigan using the smokes well, not panicking, not flustered. He's just holding strong. He's getting the information, and he's going to get the kill. Well, it's Device to get the kill, but still, Karrigan there, but the bomb is being sneakily planted in. But Device again, the raid boss says no. And the only kill coming in so far for CLG is JDM, but that's the double. The bomb is now going down. Device can't stop that one. And CLG have 2 players standing, but Device still going strong. Now joined by Zipnix, make light work of the last 2 and just take over the site.
CLG had every right to win that round. That felt like a very well-structured attack. TSM, though, just 2 damn strong individuals. We saw great fragging there from Device, 3 in that round, and Karrigan keeping a cool head when he knew 20 seconds and 5 terrorists were on his way, on the way to his location. So very solid from him. Nice Molotov as well to slow them down and keep that T side separated. And that's going to be now 11-9 on the scoreboard. Let's see where they go from this one. They've managed to buy into this one very comfortably. And with 4 Molotovs, or make it just 1 as they all do get thrown out at once. It looks like it's going to be fast.
Yeah, Device already finds Tarek with the double nade coming through, and KGB doing work with that AWP coming out to play. KGB just beautifully done, and now FNS. He's got a bit of a mammoth task here. Bombs a little bit out of hand, and KGB just makes it look so good, just whipping that AWP around and bringing this game back very close. 11-10. This is what we were saying. TSM CT side is certainly an impressive factor.
5 rounds consecutively now for TSM. I mean, CLG, they got the first. They got that pistol, that hard-earned pistol. And then you go ahead and see CLG just lose the following 5. We said that it was going to be difficult. We said that they'd done a real solid step forward by getting those 10 rounds on their CT side, but they really have to bring something special. You know, we said TSM not going to show anything before the major. I don't think CLG have that option. If they've got something on train, this is when they use it.
Yeah, exactly. I tend to agree. And we are having a tactical timeout just to keep you guys at home updated. This isn't an issue of any variety. CLG just want to have maybe a discussion, you know, what's going wrong? What are they doing right? What's making us have to work super hard here? How can we change it up? Just a quick conversation about that one, and you can see already in-game leader having a good chat.
Yep, Cutler is, of course, the one making the calls, and that recent change seems to have put them in a relatively good stead. I think what I saw when I was talking to Hayes, we saw him say basically that, yeah, it's actually working out better because finesse is still crucial. He is the one that he provides the actual mid-round calls. Cutler's the one that's calling it at the start, and finesse is there to kind of give them the framework when things go wrong. He's the one that when things go south, and maybe that's where he needs to step in.
Well, the thing that steps to my mind is that a lot of people said he has a very good read on opponents as well, Cutler, and he actually has a very good understanding of the overall picture, which is it would be applicable to how he calls. So I'm interested to see how they come out of this pause, how they intend to overcome the tyrant that's TSM here, because TSM CT side is looking very, very solid so far. So this would be an interesting factor now coming in for CLG. What have they theorized? What have they come up with that maybe could change this one? And we are seeing the AWP coming out, the Galil's coming out to play as well. So an interesting purchase choice, and these boys getting ready to go. The game is unpaused. We're going back live any second now.
Yeah, something we haven't seen from TSM is the double AWP, something they're no stranger to, especially on train, but still keeping it in the hands of KGB this time, as he's going to be going for a very similar peak that we saw from JDM not too long ago. He, however, is on his way for an early peak towards that B aggression. Nothing from Zipnix, though. He's happy to sit at the bottom of that ramp, and that's a beautiful flash. Wow, completely full flash for CLG, already delaying them, and maybe, just maybe, being a bit of a warning shot to delay this aggression. Looks like the call that Cutler's made is, let's try and give the other bomb site some love.
Yeah, not standard for these guys just yet, but they are kind of falling back to more of a standard spot. You're seeing that Hayes isn't sticking around, but he does have the bomb with him, which is the only difference for me. But FNS and Tarek over by toward A. Smoke's being lined up here. Not going for it yet. It looks like CLG may have just turned around and considered A again, but TSM is starting to push up as well. And this is the thing, TSM still have so much utility, so much time they can buy here. This is going to get worrying for CLG.
Absolutely, and he's been considering this smoke for a long time now. Just waiting for that call to be made. Well, ideally, waiting for a peek. The only one who's really going for it is JDM. He's the one that's pushing towards main, trying to find, one of Carrigan or Dupree. The smoke does go out, though, and that's going to obscure the view from Connector. And now here comes the push. Carrigan, of course, stone-hearted, is ready for this one. Mounts up towards the main train, and he is almost ready for CLG.
But there's 20 seconds left. They need to get moving pretty darn fast here, CLG. You've got to get building towards that side. 15 seconds now. Bomb is going in, though. Hayes going to put that one down straight away, and they do get the bomb plant. And more importantly, FNS has found Dupree. Now it's time for TSM to start that retake, but JDM stays alive.
This feels like something CLG have rehearsed time and time again. This time, it's a very successful play, and it's going to be now down to Device and Zipnix, all onto Zipnix's shoulders then, as he tries to draw out a player, and he does, catches the ankles of JDM. And all falls to Finesse. He's found two already. This would be his third. And time against the Dane. Trying to hold the angles. He's going to get pushed. And it looks like Finesse has got all the intel he needs. Backs away to safety. And now time is going to be his greatest enemy here, as he does go down to the pistol of Finesse, no less. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. As that's 12 for CLG.
Really nicely done. Coming out into that round, they did switch up the start a little bit. But that final play, just brilliant stuff there. And this is what I wanted to see, how well does CLG adapt when they are asked these questions? How much can they really change up here? Because, let's be honest, we were pointing out Tarek having a good game. On the other side of things, Device is on 25 kills as well.
Wow, look at that buy.
Device is absolutely phenomenal at the moment. But, as you said, Galil's all around. CLG just going to try and throw everything they can into these rounds and make the most of it. KGB is starting to go hunting, and we saw he's not missing those shots with that AWP.
Yeah, what's ironic is that's the peak JDM was looking for just the round prior. So unfortunate, as KGB is the one to find Cutler. And from there, CLG, we saw what happened to them last time when they were playing up against SK over on Overpass. When they lost that man on T side, when they went down a man early, that's when they struggle with executes, because they are a team that does rely on very kind of pre-strategized, predetermined play. And when they lose Cutler, one of those cogs in this American machine does disappear. Does rely on a peak now. It comes down to individuals, and who better than Tarek when you talk about individuals, sitting at the top of the scoreboard since round one. And it's going to be actually Finesse who challenges out. He's going to be fully flashing. It's going to be easy for Dupree. This is going to be now 5 versus 3. CLG just getting whittled away here.
Yeah, but they've got themselves towards B. Zipnix and KGB are going to be watching this, so KGB already has the angle towards the upper side of things, but KGB going to have to readjust. Zipnix flash, they will get down towards the side, but, Zipnix, he didn't have the best one-to-one against FNS earlier, but now he's making up for that fact, taking down 2, but Tarek has something to say, picks up 3. Wow. In the end, Zipnix will close it down and keep TSM in touching distance to CLG.
Yeah, neck and neck. Of course, that's going to be really crucial for CLG, of course, getting money screwed off the back of that one, completely reset after winning and then losing the round after. So TSM in a pretty comfortable position, and it's going to be down to what CLG can do with that single flash. To their credit, though, we saw how effective that one flash can be when they were managed to push out. It enabled 3 players to cross to Electric unnoticed.
Hey, you never know. Can make all the difference. But you liked Zipnix's flash, to be fair.
Oh, I was in love with that, yeah.
Oh, just does catch no! Carrigan round the back. He's got the Mag 7, already puts FNS in towards the dirt as Zipnix catches the other. And look at this. It's like shooting fish in a barrel with shotguns. That's just cruelty at its finest. But still, TSM bringing it back now 12-12. And CLG, money-wise, are not great here.
And I think they know that. You can see on Hayes' face, he's sitting there, he's got dollar signs in his eyes, trying to do the math and realize that this is probably going to go south. It is going to be a second one for them. This time, though, putting a couple of extra nades in their pocket, at least one for every player on the side of CLG. Tech 9s as well for 2 of them. It looks like TSM are really quite comfortable going aggressive. They're going to see KGB holding a pretty, relatively common angle. And it's where CLG choose to push. Carrigan has been quite literally rinse and repeat on this hold, and every single time he's found success. 8 frags so far in this half.
He's been having a great time here, and it's such a hard position to play at times because you are pressured from just about everywhere. But Device does get down JDM early on with just that molly coming through. Carrigan will be tested, but deals with Tarek kindly, and CLG falling apart at the side, sadly, as Carrigan just going to make the most of this one. And last man standing will be found by Cajun B there, not Carrigan. And, well, TSM not even looking like they broke a sweat into that round. Very easy, very comfortable. CLG need this gun round, I feel. Otherwise, TSM's just going to spiral. They're going to go on to full, TSM beast mode. CLG need their impact to happen.
Yeah, and let's see where they take this. This really is kind of make or break for CLG. And I mean, talking of break, if they could break TSM, that would be incredible for both their morale, but also a little indicator that TSM needs to take this even more seriously. I say that though, Carrigan and Cajun B do fight too, but look at CLG go. That's one for every single member still standing. As now Dupree and Zipnix have to try and forge something for TSM.
They just sped up the pace. They go crazy. They go aggressive, and it works for Zipnix round the back. Going to catch off SNS, just waiting at the bottom, but now 2v2. Still possible. JDM's going hunting, but Dupree has the drop. Dupree closes it down,
wow.
And now Cutler has everything to do, but not a great deal of HP to work with. I guess he kind of knew where both players were at some point, but he was able to put together the pieces now. That'd be phenomenal, but still, this is gone from a possibility to a very dire situation, considering it was a 3-on-2.
Yeah, everything kind of started to look good for CLG. Things were starting to correlate nicely. And then TSM turned up. We talked about individuals. We talked about how TSM, when they're left in situations where they just need to play well, that's when they will end up thriving, because they are kind of keeping themselves relatively reserved in this game. Magician that doesn't want to show his big trick just yet. Now it looks like Cutler is going to be trying to make his way on towards that B site. TSM, you can see these angles from Zipnix. He knows it's a possibility, and I think he's going to have the indicator now. Molotov isn't going to catch him, and Cutler...
Oh, that's really
he could
smart.
surprise. I think when they see the bomb plant, they're going to have an idea. They're going to have an idea.
Both of them, though. Okay, Dupree's starting to consider this one, but he's working this perfectly. He doesn't take the shot towards Zipnix. Fake from Dupree.
He doesn't even peek it.
He's still got a flash and a molly here. He can play this one extraordinarily smart. They're both there. He could have had such an opportunity. But still, Dupree will take him down, and TSM start taking the lead.
Oh, I just started putting the puzzle pieces together, and I was like, Molotov time. He's holding the angle. He hasn't peeked. I was getting so... I was really invested.
Believe.
I was making weird noises. I had to mute myself. But, oh, okay. I mean, if he'd have stayed alive for another 10 seconds and thrown out the molly, he was there. Okay, anyway...
That's going to really upset you now, isn't it?
The problem is we're doing the ifs and buts. So are CLG. Imagine if they'd secured that round, where TSM would be and where they would be. Still now, 14 on the board for the Danes. Can they secure this neat and tidily? 16-14 was the result in favor of SK just yesterday for CLG. Can they fall foul to the same trickery? Let's look at Dupree. He's been playing this quite regularly, and FNS has been the one that's been kind of trying to challenge him.
Oh, this is different from Carrigan. He's actually going aggressive now. He's switched up the pace, and it worked out. 1-for-1 trade and information gathered. Let's see if anyone else is going to take the bull by the horns. Probably not fancying that, but still. Let's keep in mind that CLG not having the best of T-side so far. 2 rounds on the board. One was the initial pistol, and I believe the gun round later on. But I'm kind of hoping we see a little more from them here. They've been getting close in so many of these rounds, but actually losing out when they have the advantage, which is the impressive part. But still, hopefully they can resolve those issues. But looking at this round, 40 seconds remaining. Bomb is edging over toward B. Cutler, hazed, FNS, and JDM now. All looking towards this. And they don't often actually fully hit the site with more than one player. There's a last resort. This could work fairly well. Can Zipnix hold on to this? Because already Device is starting to look. He's starting to consider the options. And this could be the perfect counter flash. Zipnix readjusts, repositions, holds them up. And this could be, once again, Zipnix pinning him to the wall.
Yeah, Hayes is going to try and make it a little bit more difficult. Oh, he misses the shot. That shouldn't have happened. And KGB's going to pay the price. But look at Dupree. He went on a wild goose chase all the way through T-spawn. And he's going to be finding 2, potentially a 3rd as well, as Hayes is the one to fall down. And, I mean, you saw Dupree. He was meandering his way all the way down that long side. And finally does bring up a triple to almost secure the win for TSM.
Just sauntering through, having a wonderful time of it all, and just like, oh, there's 3 of you here. That's easy. That's fine. I'll win like a 1v3. Basically, you can lose.
That's happened quite often as well. Carrigan with the Mag 7. We've seen Zipnix do it down Pop Dog as well. This is surprising people with these plays that CLG have. I mean, they're not going to have experience of dealing with this. This is probably something that NA teams don't bring out as much, this overconfident play.
Well, let's bear in mind that CLG don't have any records in any recent time against EU teams on this map. So Sure, you can watch the demos, you can sit there and review VODs until the cows come home, but your understanding, your kind of real in-depth knowledge of it may not be the same. Certainly going to have the first-hand experience now, though, as Tarek going to start wandering around. He does catch out Carrigan. That's a big piece of the puzzle now gone. And actually, Tarek going ahead of the smokes. He's just going walking in, and I kind of like this. This is TSM now going to be put on the back foot and having to do a hell of a lot of work. But of course it's Device. He's just sat there. He thought, oh, finally they've got a chance. Let me ruin that for them.
Yeah, it comes down to the remaining 3, and actually, JDM started well. He's been doing fantastic with both Rifle and AWP, but now all onto Tarek. He does manage to try and tag up 1. It's all onto Device. He's picked up 3. Tarek's found 2. And it is the battle of the top fraggers.
2 top fraggers here. This is massive.
You can see both pretty similar in health as well. And 40 seconds, he has got so much time to play with, but he doesn't have the bomb. So the pressure is mounting for the remaining CLG member.
Tarek going, looking, they both spotted each other out here. Device gets the shot off.
Man.
Beautifully